Live from downtown Minneapolis, WCCO Television, your hometown team, presents exclusive live coverage of the 1998 Holidazzle Parade. Brought to you by Dayton's. And now, here are your hosts for the evening, Don Shelby and Amelia Santinello.
Good evening, everyone. Grab a front row seat and get ready for the annual Holidazzle Parade. Hello, everybody. I'm Don Shelby.
And I'm Amelia Santinello. WCCO TV is proud to broadcast this dazzling event for the 6th year in a row now, just right outside of our studios on 11th and Nicollet.
Every year, there's a terrific crowd gathered up and down the mall, and somewhere out there is our favorite Holidazzle or Holidazzle meteorologist, Paul Douglas. Paul.
Isn't this amazing, Don and Amelia? Holy cow, what is going on this evening? Is this the Aquatennial Grand Day Parade, or is this the Torchlight Parade, or is this the Holidazzle Parade? We're not really sure, but we have a handsome audience out here. 64 this afternoon, set an all-time record, and it's still balmy. The real concern this evening is not the weather, it's not the wind chill, it's people. We have tens of thousands, possibly hundreds of thousands of people, and they're concerned that some of the floats may not be able to actually get in between the people. But it's beautiful out here. What's the current temperature?
49 degrees.
And is there any wind chill at all, Amy?
Paul, there is no wind chill.
There's no wind chill out here. You guys ready for a parade? Yeah, we've been rehearsing that all evening. Back to you, Don and Amelia.
All right, we'll be back to you several times during the broadcast, Paul. Thank you very much. Well, it's time now. You heard the crowd rise to its feet. There could be, police estimates say somewhere around 50,000, but it ought to go higher than that.
Yeah.
It will be a record opening night. It may be a record for any night that the Holidazzle has been broadcast.
Well, you know, this downtown tradition just keeps getting bigger and better each year. And as always, the first parade is sponsored by Dayton's. And as a sponsor of the parade, many of their employees are offered the opportunity to volunteer to be characters in tonight's parade, the first one of the season.
This is the first of 32 parades from now until December 30th, and that is the biggest number of parades ever held. Holidazzle is celebrating its 7th anniversary this year. The route has remained the same. It starts at 12th Street and runs to 4th Street at the Nicollet Mall in the heart of downtown Minneapolis.
Well, you're looking at the Grand Marshal, our very own WCCO.
Hey, Don and Amelia.
How you good?
It is great out here. You would not believe this crowd. Last year we had a record. This year I know we're going to top it.
I bet you are.
That's Dave with his wife and his daughter, Kaisa, I think.
The smallest one.
The smallest
yeah,
one,
I
is
think.
it?
Oh, no, they're both there.
Are they both there?
Yeah, great. I didn't see the daughter standing right there in the front rail.
That right there was the fanfare float. And now, coming up the street right here, the
My
string of
favorite.
holiday lights.
Yeah.
Making their annual appearance at the Holidazzle Parade. Now, this unit is sponsored by NSP, and as you said, it's one of your favorites. 250,000 lights in this parade.
Yeah, okay. Now, the reason I like this is because it's goofy. Okay? It's goofy.
Why don't you volunteer to go?
Every other float has some sort of resemblance to another float you've seen in some of the great parades, Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade or the Tournament of Roses Parade. But this, I mean...
You can see their hands right inside
just
there.
a bunch of people in light bulbs walking down the street. And to top it off, look what is in the end of this deal. The electrical outlet from who else?
NSP.
NSP. What a great piece of advertising.
You're not
and
kidding
great
about
fun.
that.
Now, just think how large the tree would have to be to support that string of lights.
I think you should volunteer for that one year, Don.
You know, I may be the guy pushing the NSP thing down the road one day. I want to mention that the police are in here saying that they have underestimated the need for security and for crowd control. We don't know for sure that they have sent for reserve help to come in to help deal with the crowds, but they've expressed some concern to our Kevin Berger that there is a serious problem with the size of this crowd down here tonight.
Obviously because of the weather.
Absolutely, great weather. The busiest shopping night for the downtown area of the year as well. Coming up now, the Princess of the Pea, sponsored by Minneapolis St. Paul Magazine. This is a really colorful float. It features the princess on top of a stack of mattresses. You remember the story, because under there somewhere is a little pea that disturbs her sleep.
Because she's a princess.
That's right.
She's a little sensitive.
You know how she feels.
Well, like all the other floats, you know, this one has its own original music written especially for the Holidazzle Parade. And this tune that you hear it right there, recognize the voice? It's a blues number sung by local artist Debbie Duncan.
Wonderful. You hear all of the original music as the parades go by, and you will be hearing the bands play. We'll shut our traps here when that begins to happen. You'll hear the high school bands. Southwest High School is with us tonight. They'll be marching up here. And that, even though that's one of the more familiar things in the parade, is still one that delights the crowd. It really gets you going. The sound of the bass drum and the sound of
gears
the
everybody
tuba.
up.
Absolutely. Our next float is the Hansel and Gretel, sponsored by the Star Tribune, featuring a colorfully lighted up gingerbread house, along with, of course, the mean old witch. The witch gets to ride on the float, but
that mean old witch.
You know, you'll see Hansel and Gretel somewhere else. They have to walk.
They have to walk, huh? Well, can you hear that song too? This is a brand new song that's been written for Hansel and Gretel float this year. It has sort of a country theme, which was inspired by the popularity of Garth Brooks, who, as you know, visited the Twin Cities recently. And hey, they figured after 9 concerts, people in this area must love country music.
That's a good looking float.
You know what? They have special bus tours from places like Duluth, Mankato, and Grand Rapids. That's how popular this event is.
They had riders in from Japan last year.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
They had about, I don't know, a dozen or so, a half dozen to a dozen riders from Japan covering the Holidazzle, among other things, as a reason to come to Minneapolis just to see the
tourist destination. Now, this is Jill in the box because Jack was so busy. Holidazzle chose this special float. It's one of the several mini floats in the parade, and Jill is just one of the many volunteer costumed characters. Well, that's not a float there. No, that's Paul.
That's our Paul, and he's up in the expensive seats.
I'm up here in the heated grandstand area. This is for the VIPs, and the great thing about the Holidazzle Parade, everybody has a chance to be a VIP. You spend $150 or more on restaurants or shopping in Minneapolis, and you get 2 reserved seats for the evening of your choice. And it's a real good deal, and you get a wonderful view, and best of all, it's heated. Not that we need that this evening.
Yeah, you're right.
In fact, we need the fans going this evening here.
We want to remind people that you don't have to spend $150 at one time to get a pair of the hot seats. You can save all your receipts from November to December and then turn them into the Holidazzle Guest Services Center right in City Center.
Different bands from around the metro area perform, as I told you, and this year for the first time, WCCO TV is the proud sponsor of the marching band every night. Tonight, as I told you, Southwest High School's marching band, directed by Keith Louisi. The band members are all lighted head to toe. And who's that? You recognize that? That's not Goldilocks, is it?
No, it's not Goldilocks. It is Alice in Wonderland. These are some of the great costumes in the parade. There's Alice, and there's a Mad Hatter right there, the White Rabbit. We saw the Queen of Hearts, the Dormouse, and the Teacup, and those were the 3 cards that you saw waving there.
Lewis Carroll invented the ugliest character in all of children's literature when he invented those characters. Even
I know, the Queen of Hearts.
Yeah, and the March Hare is even not very attractive. Look at the tongue sticking out of the Queen's mouth. That is a nasty, nasty character. Okay?
We won't tell her that you said that, Don.
No, don't. She'll off with my head.
Off with your head, exactly.
All of these characters are volunteers. There are, listen to this, there are 160 volunteer positions every night. And of course, all of them have to be filled. In fact, 1,000 people who wanted to volunteer their time were turned away because of the different volunteers each night. Each Holidazzle Parade has its own unique personality.
Yeah, and every night the parade is sponsored by a different local company. It's a great way to get all their employees involved in this. What you're looking at right here, Wishbone the dog on PBS. It's sponsored by Target. This is a float sponsored by Target. Now, Wishbone is a Jack Russell Terrier who gets himself in all sorts of mischief alongside literature's best-known characters like Tom Sawyer, Huck Finn, Romeo and Juliet, Sherlock Holmes, and Robin Hood.
Hey, is a Jack Russell Terrier the same dog that looks into the speaker on the RCA advertising?
Is that a Jack? Wasn't that a Dalmatian?
No, it didn't have spots. I don't know if it is. Listen to the Wishbone song.
You know, 1995 was the last year that the Holidazzle was short on volunteers.
Yeah.
As you
got a long line waiting to do them. And there's a little bit of training and a little bit of commitment. Let me tell you something about those lighting suits. They weigh a ton. It takes quite a little bit of an athlete. You have to be in pretty good shape to carry around some of those heavier things on your back. Not only do you have to carry the battery packs and the lights, but the grid that holds the lights up are very, very heavy. The whirling, twirling Nutcracker is a well-recognized symbol of the holiday season. This one sponsored by National City Bank, and like every unit in the parade, it is lighted from head to toe. In fact, there are 250,000 lights. That's separate lights in tonight's parade. Can you imagine being the person who has to change those?
The Nutcracker has been in the parade since the beginning, and it will appear in the 175th parade coming up on Sunday, December 13th. And to help celebrate this special occasion, 175 mascots representing business and community groups throughout the state will kick off the parade on that day.
You know, we're talking about the weather all night long because it is remarkable. You all know that, but it's very seldom canceled. As tough as the weather is in Minnesota, most people would think this would be canceled a lot. It's only been canceled 4 times because of cold temperatures, and the temperature has to reach at least a 25-degree below zero wind chill.
And you actually sat in one of those cold Holidazzle parades,
it was 15 degrees actual below zero when we were here. This parade's like a storybook opening of the Nicollet Mall. This is what the downtown retailers wanted when they created Holidazzle. The idea was to transform downtown Minneapolis into sort of a magical fairy tale. It's not a holiday parade. And here are some of your favorite Mother Goose storybook characters. Little Red Riding Hood, the Wolf, 3 Pigs, 3 Bears, and Goldilocks is in this one.
Am I hearing a little reggae music there?
Yeah.
We be jamming. AirTouch Cellular also sponsors the parade pacers, and they're the people who keep the floats on the right pace every night. You're going to see Jack and Jill, Little Bo Peep, Little Miss Muffet, Humpty Dumpty.
You reckon those?
I noticed that looks like Dorothy.
Every night there's a different Dorothy, and that's one of the big treats of the parade for the women volunteers. If you can become Dorothy out of the Wizard of Oz.
That is one of the favorites, yeah.
This is the Emerald City float.
We're going to see the Wizard of Oz characters. As you said, we saw Dorothy there, the lion, the scarecrow, the Tin Man, a very colorful scarecrow there. Did you see him walking by? And the Wicked Witch of the West.
Which of the characters would you like to be?
You know, Glinda the Good.
I don't know if she's
not in there.
No, I'd like to be the lion.
The lion.
That's my favorite character in the Wizard of Oz.
In the movie. That's my favorite movie. And Blood. This is new. The Wizard of Oz float is new.
Well, it's because the popularity of the volunteer positions, they said that this is going to be such an important and popular float that they decided to build a whole new one just because it has become so popular in the parade.
Let's take a look at this. This is pretty fancy.
And you can hear the sounds of the electronics working inside.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my.
Oh, wait.
The Holidazzle Parade, where we dazzle you with...
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
Is Paul going to talk to the man? I think he's going to talk to the man behind the curtain there.
That's right.
Is he trying to find? No, he wouldn't do that, would he? There he is.
We found the man behind the curtain. Hi, Mark Leiter.
Oh, hi.
This is the first year for this new float, right?
Yes, it is. It's very nice.
How many years have you been volunteering?
About 4 or 5.
And now your wife is involved too, right?
Yeah, she's a tin person.
A tin person.
The tin person.
We're about to be run over.
Okay.
We should keep going.
I am the whiz.
You are the whiz.
I am the whiz.
Okay, Wiz, thank you very much.
And a wonderful whiz he is.
You know, Mr. Toad's Caravan from the Wind and the Willows is coming up next, pulled by 2 donkeys named Bert and Ernestine.
Who wrote The Wind and the Willows? Kenneth Graham? Mr. Mole, and Toady, and all of the characters? That's a wonderful story to read to children.
You're going to see
Rathead
Ratty,
and Mole and
Badger. And this is sponsored by American Express, who's also partnering with Northwest Airlines for Holidazzle's food drive. Benefit for the emergency food shelves of Hennepin County. Good cause. If you come to the parade, though, bring a non-perishable food item or spare bills and place them right in the food carts that run down the mall before the parade. You know, for more information, if you're interested in this, you can call 7888-7777.
If there's anyone left at home who is not in downtown Minneapolis right now, who has yet to schedule for the family a night for Holidazzle, it runs for 31 more nights between now and December 23rd. They take a break, of course, for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. And then you can catch the last 5 nights of the parade from December 26th through December 30th. It starts once again at 6:30 every night and runs down Nicollet Mall from 12th down in the south to 4th up north. And sometimes that's the best place to catch the parade, on crowded nights, at the beginning and the end of the parade.
Of course, we will be rebroadcasting this several times.
I think we do it 5 times during the holiday season. So look at your local listings for when the Holidazzle Parade will run. Look at all those
the mice.
Rats.
We call them rats.
The Pied Piper of Hamlet, followed by all of his mice. 16 of the mice tonight are from the Cityscape Dance School in Bloomington. As you can tell, the unit allows children to participate in the Holidazzle. Another great attraction for kids during the holiday season downtown is the Dayton's 8th floor auditorium. This year, the theme is The Grinch Who Stole Christmas.
I like that one.
It's just a fabulous display.
Now, you're looking at Captain Hook Float, which is sponsored by WCCO Radio. It is one of the most brightly lit floats in the parade, and it has light bulbs that have been coated with a special copper paint to make it look like it's just glowing. And you are going to see the crowd right there waving to the float. But coming up, you will see not only Captain Hook, but Peter Pan and Wendy. It sounds like they enjoy it. There they are. You know, there are 250 costume characters in the Holidazzle Parade, and there are 12 big floats, 4 mini floats, and the parade lasts about 35 minutes. And as you see, most people stand right along the mall between 7th and 9th Streets.
If you look closely, when this parade float gets up near the WCCO coverage area, as it passes the heated grandstand, one of the all-time nasty characters in all of literature is the crocodile.
Oh, yes.
And in years past, if you remember the story of Peter Pan and his adventures in Neverland, the crocodile, they ended up eating a clock. And as the crocodiles go by in years past, you could hear the ticking of the clock as it got closer and closer.
Can you hear it?
He doesn't seem to be too frightening. The children are all reaching out their hands to the crocodile as it passes through the crowd. That's a good-looking crocodile, too. I think it's sponsored by WCCO Radio.
Who's that little individual there?
I believe that happened. Yeah, probably. We have the Oompa Band, sometimes called the Street Orchestra. It's the human Oompa Band, made up of a tuba, harmonica, cymbals, cello, flute, and the hurdy-gurdy. You don't see the hurdy-gurdy played over at the Minneapolis Orchestra Hall very often, but we're just in the shadows of Orchestra Hall right now. So the hurdy-gurdy is the main instrument of choice of the street vendors, as well as the Holidazzle Parade.
This certainly puts you right in the holiday spirit, though, doesn't it?
Now that's a good-sized tuba.
Yeah, I say so. We want to mention, if you want more information about the Holidazzle, you can check the new Downtown Minneapolis website, www.downtownmpls.com.
That's one word.
Yes, it is, .com. And you can find out about the new grandstand area and the hot seat ticket information, maps to downtown, the parade schedule, or you can even send an email.
So in order to remember that, it's www.downtownmpls, just the short version, the acronym for Minneapolis, downtownminneapolis1word.com.
You know, we're talking about bringing food down here to help out the food shelter. More than 31,000 pounds of food was donated in last year's Holidazzle Parade.
We can do better than that this year. If everybody here brought 1 pound of food, can you imagine how much we would have? Let's listen to the Metropolitan Boys Choir, one of the Northwest Airlines choir float.
Sounds like this is a favorite. You know, the choir performs many concerts throughout the holiday season here in the Twin Cities, and these young men are between the ages of 5 and 18 years old. And they're directed by B. Hasselman. Here at the Holidazzle. The snowman, snowwoman, doodlebugs, standing 14 feet tall.
They run on coasters, four-wheel carts, inside, pushed along, and I've seen them do wheelies when they get real adventurous. As we mentioned earlier, the downtown Minneapolis is hosting the Holidazzle Parade along with several other events this holiday season. For instance, they've got the annual downtown boot ball tournament on PV Plaza that runs through December 17th, starting on the 14th. If you'd like to get in the boot ball contest, you can call for more information at the hotline. It's 616-SNOW, 616-SNOW.
The Downtown Council, you know, also sponsors this event, but 60 other events in the downtown area. I bet this is one of the most popular.
Some original music written for the Cinderella float.
I like this song. This is sponsored by City Center and Gavaday, and this is one of the most spectacular and most recognized floats in the Holidazzle. As you know, Run, 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 Cinderella, certainly one of the most catchiest tunes in the parade. I think Cinderella should dance a little bit. I guess it'd be a little difficult in that costume.
Cinderella having to run to get back home before it turns
midnight.
The witching hour. Paul Douglas is standing in the crowd with a very, very familiar face who never misses the Holidazzle Parade. Let's go to Paul Douglas. Paul?
Don, this is the woman who is taking full credit for today's 64 degrees. Hi, Rebecca.
How are you? Nice to see you. Finally, we got great Thanksgiving weather.
Have you ever seen anything like this?
The crowds here are unbelievable. Unbelievable. Never seen it.
It's got to be hundreds of thousands of people. Now tell us, what are you up to? I mean, we see you on our air, thankfully.
Doing some gardening thing. I'm developing a line of tools right now. In fact, we've got prototypes, so hopefully we'll have tools for life coming up on the market.
And they make handy Christmas gifts.
Yes, they do, but they won't be ready this year. And I'm working on another book next spring. So.
And you're still living in the area, right?
Still living in Hudson, Wisconsin.
It is so good to see you.
Yeah, thank you. It's great.
Enjoy the rest of the parade.
Thank you. I will. It's been a great one.
Don, Amelia?
Thank you. You're looking at the supersized pool toy of a mother duck with her ducklings. And following them right there, crazy shoe carts just roaring down the mall. There's a giant high-top tennis shoe and an elf slipper in there somewhere.
Ooh. Oh, they don't like her.
Witch.
Oh, they don't like her. The crowd's booing. Boo, you hear them? This is a lively crowd.
How would you like to be that volunteer riding down the mall?
You gotta love a crowd that will boo somebody at a parade. Well, look who's coming.
Look.
Dayton Santa Bear pulling his sleigh, a familiar face for the past 14 years in the Twin Cities. Well, he's not pulling the sleigh. He's actually sitting in the sleigh. And
the horse
another animal. That's right.
Yeah.
Got the horse working for him.
This crowd just loves this character. Last year, over 1 million people came downtown to see the parade, which broke all previous attendance records. And you know, who knows what this year will bring? It sounds like
I think we got that beat tonight.
Tonight already.
Well, you know, they'd only need maybe 10 crowds like this to go over 1 million, because we can't see all the way down to 12th Street where the parade ends, but where we're standing, the crowds are standing 10, 12 deep.
I know, I've never seen
it. When there's a break in the parade, they take an opportunity to wave to Mom.
Hi, Mom. You know, 3 floats have been retired since 1992. Jack and the Beanstalk, Hey Diddle Diddle, and the Old Woman in the Shoe.
They are the Jingle Elves. A kind of a special gift from Marshall Fields in Chicago for bringing the Holidazzle Parade to their city. Back in 1996, remember they flew and used a train and buses, and they took the entire Holidazzle Parade over to State Street in Chicago and performed. These are dancers from Cityscape Dance Studio in Bloomington. And these folks usually signal the oncoming of the Snowflake Patrol.
Yeah, exactly. Which signals the big float.
The big guy.
The big float.
The big guy is coming right behind. Whenever you see the snowflakes, it means the big guy is not too far behind.
Can you say, is he a big guy?
This is the biggest guy, okay?
You know, one couple got married on a float 2 years ago. Oh, look. Oh, a lot. The grandest float of them all.
Dayton sponsors this float.
Santa and his reindeer.
The first float built for the Holidazzle Parade back in 1992. This year, it was completely revamped with a new city skyline below the reindeer. You have to have a new city skyline about once every 30 seconds in the city of Minneapolis. There's so much construction going on. We'll be back with more of the Holidazzle Parade coming up in just a moment.
It's hard to tell exactly how or exactly when. But somewhere along the line it changes. From what gifts you will get to what gifts you can give. Dayton's. Oh, the gifts you will find.
The wonderment of a parade and a celebration of the holidays. Between now and New Year's, visitors to the Nicollet Mall will be able to experience 31 evenings of the Holidazzle Parade. The floats, the costumes, the music, and the lights that dazzle the night are all a tribute to the many caring people who volunteered to help brighten the holidays. And thanks to the special efforts and contributions of Dayton, City Center, Gavaday Common, WCCO Radio, Star Tribune, Northern States Power, AirTouch Cellular, American Express, Minneapolis St. Paul Magazine, Target, and Northwest Airlines, this annual event continues to spread storybook magic in the sparkling light and charm of downtown Minneapolis. Be a part of it. Call 616-SNOW for parade dates and free parking information.
Welcome back, everybody. That's going to wrap up our live coverage of the 1998 Holidazzle Parade. Let me tell you one thing, you guys. If those people who are watching at home who did not come down to the biggest crowd ever to watch a Holidazzle Parade, you got to be glad you're sitting at home right now, because the path to get out of this city is going to be
gridlock.
It's going to be nuts. You know what, though? If you didn't catch tonight, you can come down, what, another 31 times between now and December 30th?
The only days off we have are Christmas Eve and Christmas Day.
Will you look at the sea of people?
Don, I had to take my jacket off.
Look at you.
I was overheating.
You got your sleeves rolled
shirt
up?
sleeve weather on the Nicollet Mall. I did this just to tell my parents. Holidazzle Parade in shirt sleeves.
You know, you don't watch out, everybody will want to come to Minneapolis and live.
That's right.
Thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you next year at the Holidazzle.
The Snowden Holiday Special is next.